For a seriously significant time frame, specialists have been excited about exploring space to reveal what lies past our planetary bunch, yet the divulgence of Oumuamua took space specialists clueless. They were uncertain in the event that it was an outcast spaceship, a comet in space rock, or a completely unclassified article in an unanticipated new improvement. Oumuamua has all of a sudden showed up again. What's more is imparting signs to Earth. What does this abnormal sign mean? Are we very almost a pariah? Tech oblige us on this amazing trip as we loosen up. The mysterious behind you use return, and these exceptional new banners simply a brief time after the exposure of Oumuamua, man-made intelligence, and Israeli-American theoretical physicist C blend in with the dispersion of his profound book Extraterrestrial L proposed a dazzling perspective, proposing that Oumuamua was truly a molecule test delivered off our planet with a baffling flying thing being named a dispatch from distant. You would guess that the science neighborhood embrace its outcast starting, yet it's more muddled than that. Before jumping into the clarifications for Oumuamua's sudden return, additionally, the message passing messages on to Earth, we want to examine its propensity, and starting in the gather season of 20,177, Robert W.C.K. found Oumuamua using the Panars telescope at Heracles Observatory in Hawaii. The appearance of the unusual flying article Oumuamua set off a critical turmoil in how we could decipher space. Be that as it may, what makes this article really outstanding is that it's not Earth's first involvement in a unidentified glorious thing. Honestly, Earth onlookers incredible numerous UFO unidentified flying article sightings consistently. Anyway, few out of every odd one of them are checked. Oumuamua in any case stands separated as conceivably of the most enrapturing, also confounding of all. Exactly when you hear the term UFO, you might consider flying sources coordinated by extraterrestrial animals with gigantic, in any case, oval heads and thin blueprints. More nuanced, a UFO or unidentified flying quirk UAP fills in as a wide term, including any odd flying thing that hasn't been as of late recognized, of course, organized, possibly beginning from past our planet. The exposure of Oumuamua addresses a long-expected second for scientists. All through numerous years they had assessed and energetically expected such a momentous event, planning to solidify their confidence within the sight of glorious spaces past our sump-controlled system. Now they have obvious, unquestionable affirmation that the universe loosens up a long ways past the constraints of our planetary bunch. Before long, Oumuamua tested presumptions, while scientists had anticipated a more customary round, or on the other hand, inconsistently shaped eminent body. Oumuamua's standout properties set it to the side after beginning appraisal. Stargazers analyzed its formed to a stogie or perhaps a wiener, yet upon closer appraisal it became evident that Oumuamua had the condition of a pancake. Its size was for the most part unpretentious, assessing about 3,377 feet long, 364 feet in width, and 62 feet in thickness. While this could show up huge for an Interstellar article, it's generally decreased. The story of Oumuamua's disclosure is essentially as capturing as the actual item. On October 19, 2017, stargazers perceived the mysterious object drifting through our planetary bunch. By then, Oumuamua had been in development for 40 days since its closest method for managing the sun, and was a vacillating 21 million miles from Earth. Getting away from the sun, to put this into perspective, that distance is roughly multiple times the reach between the moon and Earth. When Oumuamua was at first found, it was remarkable. The worldwide astronomical relationship from the get-go allocated it as 1I-27U1, naturally suspecting it was a comet. Later it was viewed that as the article had no comet's tail at any rate. The space rock request also missed the imprint, and when its extraterrestrial start was unequivocally settled, the name Mua begun to obtain reputation. This name mirrors the conviction that it's a courier from space, which was significantly more clear in its return where it started, sending upsetting signs to Earth. These signs were squeezed by conclusively arranged telescopes on Earth after its first visit. Data as for Oumuamua, heading with overcome instruments like the Holder Stars 1 telescope, a piece of the Spacewatch survey, the Canada-France-Hawaii telescope CFHT, the astoundingly tremendous telescope VT, also the Gemini South telescope in Chile, close by the K telescope in Hawaii. Oumuamua, being both little and feeble, addressed a great test for insight, especially as it was at that point a couple million miles away. When we recently saw it, in all honesty, it escaped everyone's notice in sound framework H1A observations near perihelion on September 9, 2017, since its splendor had decreased to an apparent significance of around 13.5 as continued to withdraw from Earth. It ended up being logically irksome to see around the completion of October its brightness had obscured to an obvious size of 23, conveying it basically subtle to the uned eye. Oumuamua entertains surprising heading gives information into this conceivable start. According to stargazers, it appears to have come from the course of Vega, a star in the Lyra gathering of stars Oumuamua orbital. Unusualness assessing around 1.20 is the most essential anytime seen anyway. What does this legitimate language mean? We ought to break it down with an orbital whimsy that Hyam can outperform the sun's escape speed, conveying it unbound to our close-by planet bunch. This recommends that it would be capable at last pull out our planetary gathering and trip to various corners of the universe. This exposure asserts that Oumuamua is without a doubt an interstellar article, starting from a close-by planet bunch a great many miles from our own. Couple of theories have been proposed by analysts to get a handle on the start of this bewildering object. We ought to research these contemplations individually as we delve more significant into loosening up the mystery enveloping is Oumuamua. A comet's presence in our huge region has stunned specialists, revealing new disclosures and raising unique explanations. At first, researchers acknowledged it very well may be a comet, yet that believed was quickly uncovered. Peculiarly, the speculation of WOA being a comet has actually reappeared. So what unequivocally is a comet? Comets are stunning heavenly components. They fundamentally tremendous interstellar things made from buildup. What's more, ice that seek after a circle around the sun, assuming that you some way or another happen to sum up their generally obvious part. It would for certain be their long streaming stories. These huge explorers are oftentimes considered relics from the start of our planetary gathering, remnants deserted from the fierce improvement of the planets and stars billions of years earlier. In a way, they're like time holders of the universe, safeguarding a portrayal of a period when the sun, stars, and planetary bodies were still in their grandiose support. Anyway, what do these comets look like? Imagine them as massive heaps of buildup. Moreover, ice with a frozen center, appropriately known as the center. Conventionally, comets' nuclei measures around 10 m in width, which is exceptionally important, about the size of a little town. At any rate, these centers stay frozen until they experience close to our sun. As they incline toward to our star, the sun's power changes the freezing focus into gas, and this outgassing produces brilliant planes of gas and residue. That way behind the comet, the relationship between this gas and the going with dust makes a voluminous murky cloud around the center, reasonably named the outrageous lethargies. You've in all probability seen inventive depictions of comets with They're obvious stories as a matter of fact. Comets generally have two separate tails. The build-up tail, reaching out for a colossal number of miles, follows a wide, delicately bowing way behind the comet, while the molecule tail dependably concentrates directly away from the sun. Beforehand, Earth has been visited by a couple of comets. These sublime visitors give us invaluable investigates, their synthesis and structure offering signs about the universe's activities. One such heavenly adventurer is Hell's Comet. This enormous comet ranges around 5 miles in width and 16 m long. It follows a drawn-out circle like various comets. It circles the sun about each 75 to 76 years. The last time we had the delight of seeing the heavenly miracle was in February 1986. In any case, this wasn't the underlying time Hall's Comet graced us with its presence. After its discernment in 61682 English, cosmologist Edmund High, the comet's name, found that comets follow periodic models. He emphatically expected its return in 1757, a gauge that strikingly worked out true to form. There's even evidence that H's comet made an appearance in the 1066 Boch, weaved fine art featuring its well-established relationship with our planet. While Hell's Comet takes the spotlight, it's not the just comet that has gone through our divine space, one less famous anyway. Likewise, F entrancing comet is Shoemaker-Levy 9, which made an astounding appearance not in the world yet, rather on our abutting planet Jupiter. Scientists, with the exception of this comet, partitioned into 21 pieces impacted by Jupiter's gravitational powers in 1992, finally slamming into the gas Goliath in 1994. This huge accident was seen from Earth. What's more, even from the Galileo space test, the impact was evaluated to be indistinguishable from the blast of 6 million megatons of explosive, a truly repelling event. Then, at that point, there's Comet Hyakutake, a virus blue drifter with a faint story. This comet is notable for putting on one of the most beguiling comet shows in 20 years. In spring 1996, it passed inside 9.3 million mil of Earth, meaning the closest it had come to the sun in around 9,000 years. This experience was momentous not only for its area, yet furthermore for its ability to dumbfound specialists as it explored interstellar space. Comet Hyakutake transmitted X shafts at levels on numerous occasions more serious than expected. In 1996, the S transport incidentally meandered through the comet's story. This unconstrained experience uncovered that this great wonder stretched out over a shocking 350 million miles, making it conceivably of the greatest comets any time saw. It's just twice the length of some other realized comet, highlighting its unprecedented size. These are several remarkable models in the incomparable MC walk of comets. Different comets, for instance, Hale Bopp Comet, Blee Comet, Anna, and Safe Haven Tuttle, have extra made there. Engrave in our great record. The interest enveloping Oumuamua has incited a couple of scientists to re-examine their early on NS. Jennifer Burt and Daryl Seligman, as of late, referred to have gotten back to the likelihood that Oumuamua might be an interstellar comet. Their hypothesis suggests that no matter what its specific shape, reasonably little size, furthermore obvious flight plan, Oumuamua could without a doubt be a comet of interstellar starting. While most comets are well off in ice and conveyance copious proportions of water, rage gas, and dust while pushing toward the sun, Oumuamua acts unmistakably. View of Oumuamua didn't reveal the ordinary comic story, which brought up issues about its gathering. In any case, Bird, drawing from her expansive authority in cool space objects, proposed a surprising explanation. She recommended that Oumuamua could have taken out hydrogen gas into space, giving it a peculiar speed increment. This flighty technique for advancement can be attributed to the radiation that swarms space exactly when this radiation helps out the water eye. On Yum, it produces hydrogen which becomes gotten under or inside the thing's surface when the sun's energy strikes Mu. It sets off the appearance of this hydrogen gas pushing the thing with broad speed. While this speculation appears apparently to be one of the most possible exp and it's by no suggests the most enamoring, are you ready to dive into the most curious speculation on this flying thing? Could Oumuamua be a piece of a detonated planet? Two astrophysicists at Arizona State School, Alan Jackson and Stephen Runn, set forward one of the most by and large recognized hypotheses with deference to the start of Unam. Their speculation considered quite possibly of the most solid explanations to date proposes that this unpredictable hotcake-framed divine thing began from a distant planet in another planetary gathering a tremendous number of miles from our own. They suggested that a space rock crash with that dark planet in the faraway past made a section break free and set out on an endless outing through space. Cosmologists figured out that this thing didn't start inside our sun-based structure by exactingly examining its bearing when it was recognized in our planetary gathering on October 19, 2017. It was well on out of our heavenly region, meandering into the critical scopes of the space as a component of its mind-boggling journey through the enormous universe. Oumuamua made a brief refueling break on our green Earth, filling in as a core that demonstrated the presence of various universes past our own. At any rate, the certifiable interest lies in the revelation that Jackson and Runn have not simply pinpointed a possible focal point for this unusual article, yet have also sorted out some way to finish up the possibility of the planet from which it came. In their investigation, they deduced that Oumuamua, without a doubt, started from an Exo-Pluto. Now, what definitively is an Exo-Pluto? You could consider in direct terms an Exo-Pluto is an exoplanet that bears a striking similarity to Pluto, the Peewee planet in our planetary gathering, by separating the compound plan. What's more, actual plan of Oumuamua. Researchers found that the parent body from which this capricious article broke free following a space rock impact ought to have immovably looked like Pluto. An intriguing affiliation arises when we jump into NASA's New Horizon rockets fly by a Pluto and it moons on July 14, 2015 during its fundamental objective to concentrate on the undersized planet very close. This mission unveiled features like the Sputnik plum on Pluto's surface. Sets these locale isolated is that they fundamentally contain frozen nitrogen. Lakes nitrogen is difficult to come by on the planet. Beside the flood track down on Pluto. Considering this disclosure, analysts guessed that Oumuamua could be a section of nitrogen ice sent off a nitrogen-rich twin of Pluto in a far-off sun-based system. This revelation is nothing shy of stunning, as it surmises the